Alright, so My Life as an RPG's quick guide to the Bazaar. This is the Bazaar, run already in progress. What you want to pay attention to is this clock. This is your day clock. Each time one of these side pips tick down, you're given 3 choices of an encounter. So for example, here I could go here to buy tools, I can go here to get gumballs, which increase my stats, or I could go here to get health regeneration. Let's say I want to get tools. I click on the guy, he brings up the shop. Maybe I want something, maybe I don't. I could re-roll once by spending some gold. My gold is down here, and I have income over here, which I get at the start of each day. Down here are skills, which just give me, basic passive ability. And these are my items. Items each have a cooldown and an effect. Now, the main thing you're doing here is you're preparing for, midnight when the day switches over, because then you actually have to fight against another player. Lose a fight and you lose prestige equal to the day. Lose all your prestige and you lose the game. Well, that's not really true, but I'll get into that later. And your goal is to try and win 10 times before that happens. So here, I'm going to go into this battle. It's me versus Sungra. Hi, Sungra. And now that's their board versus my board. And their cooldowns are going to slowly charge. My cooldowns are going to slowly charge. And one of us is going to win. I have like a burn poison build. They have a burst build. They're probably going to kill me. Probably going to kill me? Yeah, they killed me. With 2 HP. Alright. And now the cycle repeats itself. My current build is based around this. This makes it so that whenever I transform items, transforming items allows you to turn one item into another, this gets more burn. And I have a daily quest. You get daily quests that give you, in-game currency. I have a daily quest for getting more burn. Now I just picked up this rainbow potion. I think it's probably better than this heavy freeze potion, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to put it onto my board, like so. My boiling flask gives these potions double cast. And then, when you're about to tick over to noon, you get a choice of 3 enemy encounters, and these are like AI players. They're arranged from easiest to hardest, and you can see rewards here. This is 2 gold, 2 XP, 1 item. I'm going to try and take the mod squad, 4 gold, 3 XP, 1 item. I click on it, and they, like other players, have a predetermined board, so you always know what these enemies are going to have. I'm, still going. I think I'm going to take them out. There you go. I got them. And now you get to choose, well, you don't get to choose, but you are given one of their items or one of their skills at random. So I get this skill. It goes onto my skill board. You actually can have infinite skill. XP is down here. Every time you level up, you get a choice of 3 rewards. So here I can get a reagent. Those are things that get special bonuses when you transform them. Here I could get 2 gold and a loot. Loot gives you a little stat increase, and gold is gold. And here I could just get a random silver item. Items go from bronze, silver, gold, platinum. There's also a legendary tier, which you can't upgrade to, but you can get as a drop. Now, I won that fight, so that tells me that this build with the rainbow potion and the haste potion, which I put there when you weren't looking, is probably better than my last build. So you can test out your builds against the AI before you go against another player. And sure enough, I won this fight against another player with this build. There's the second pip for my victory. Here's the thing I was talking about. When you hit 0 prestige, you don't actually die. Instead, you get sent to this, constellation, and she gives you 3 parting gifts. You could either get a free diamond tier item, that's the best types of items in the game. You could enchant one of your items to have some extra effect, or you can get 20 gold and 5 XP. Everyone mostly does the enchantment. I chose to go with a random enchantment instead of crit, so I'm going to enchant this calcinator. Now it's a heavy calcinator, so now it will slow and burn at the same time. And now I have to die 1 more time to lose. So you get kind of like a last chance boost. Anyway, I died. I suck. But then after you run, you see your daily challenges, your weekly challenges, you level up, and then every time you level up, you get some goodie. There are currently 4 characters, and they each kind of have different mechanics. Vanessa is kind of the Shoto of the game. She does a little bit of everything. You could do weapon builds, you could do poison builds, you could do aquatic builds, you could do friend-based builds, you could do builds based on reducing cooldowns and hasting or slow builds. She's just the very basic do-everything character, and she's a pirate. Pygmalion, or just Pig, is kind of the tank of the group. He's big, he's slow, he focuses on healing, shielding, and he also fucks around with economy a lot. So he's often very rich, and he will have items that will, like, do more damage based on how much money he has. Or, like, get permanent upgrades whenever you buy and sell stuff. Dooley, this little robot guy, is kind of the combo character of the game. Unlike the other characters who have 3 basic starts, you either start with money, an enchanted item, or a skill. Dooley gets to start with one of 3 cores, each of which has a trigger and an effect. So, like, for example, his shield core is whenever you use an item to the left, charge this 1 second, and anytime it goes off, increase your shield by X amount. And he's for the people who like playing big combo decks in Magic, for people who like, triggering a thing that makes another thing trigger, that makes another thing trigger, that makes another thing trigger. That's his whole vibe. And finally, there's the last character, Mac. Mac is kind of the glass cannon. The idea is that he's an alchemist who, like, is actually really, really old, like centuries old. His weapons are really good and tend to have lifesteal. He has potions, which are really good one-off effects. He could get way higher poison and burn than any other character in the game, but he is made of paper. He has glass bones and paper skin. And his items aren't all that fast. So when you're playing Mac, basically what you want to do is survive until your items go off, and then you just explode and you win. There's also 2 new characters coming. Jules is one of them. She's like a primordial Cthulhuoid chef. And she's the alternate win condition character. She has a mechanic called Joy. If her joy hits max, then the battle is over and you win. Though she also has other food items that can do things like burn you or whatever. And Stella is a character that is all based around tools and vehicles. And we don't know a whole lot about her gameplay, but apparently there's going to be some sort of like modular build your own battle kind of tank thing going on with her. She's the least fleshed out. Now, the way that the game works is that it is totally free to play. As you earn XP, you advance along the season path, and at levels 15 and 30, you always get new expansions, like you get new cards you can play with. But at the end of every season, everyone is given those cards. So all you're really doing is trying to get those cards earlier than everybody else. So you can't like pay to win. You can't pay to have access to cards that other people don't have access to. In the end, you're just always going to be drafting from the same card pool as everybody else. So if you level up by doing your quests or pay real money to level up, because you can do that, you can get access to those cards quicker. But eventually, everyone always gets every card. You can play in unranked mode, which just gets you XP. Or you can play in ranked mode, which, in addition to the ranking, gets you treasure chests if you get a certain amount of wins. And then in those chests, you get in-game currency, and that in-game currency can buy you skins and aesthetics, or new characters. But new characters are pretty cheap. I had enough to buy all the characters in the game without spending any extra money. And I did pitch them an extra $10 this time, just because I wanted to try the new expansions early, and I didn't have time to grind it out because I was moving. And yeah, that's the Bazaar. Free to play, and it is hugely, hugely addicting. You can get started at www.playthebazaar.com. Not sponsored, but I just like the game, so give it a try.